what's going on the campaign trail and other subjects tonight on Loren Live VMG. As always, I'm your host, Christopher Gergen, and joining me tonight is the insubordinate one, the only constitutional conservative candidate in the race, Mr. Loren Culp. Hey, Loren, how's it going?
Good evening, Chris. Good evening, everybody. Thanks for joining us. Make sure that you hit the share button, please. And if you are interested, I'll put this right out front because I always forget it till the end. But if anybody's interested in a yard sign, just type in the comments, #yard sign, and we'll get you info right away.
That is awesome. So you look like you are in a good mood tonight.
I'm in a great mood. How can you not be in a great mood? This is America.
Well,
this is the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Absolutely. And well, you know what? Maybe you should take my phone for a day, and then we'll do a live event. So no, it's been a great day. It has been a busy day. The phone has been unbelievable today. A lot of nonsense out there, Loren. A lot of people, talking about things, spreading things that aren't true, and trying to cause division and strife. And
I wonder why they're doing that, Chris. It's amazing.
Well,
nobody else is getting attacked. It's like, wow. I don't know why.
Yeah.
Maybe you can tell us why. I think you have some numbers, right?
Yeah, we're let's go through these numbers here. So let's go through the financials. If you have a moment,
Yes, that'd be great.
we can go through some of the financials. Let me see if I have some of these numbers here. Yeah, there we go. So week two, what we're going to post tonight, in fact, 74,278.46 for week two, which is actually week one. It's actually week one, like the first full week of July, 74,278.46. For the month, week one had the last 2 days of June in it, and also July. So week one, we posted 132,756, Loren, 132,756, including the last 2 days of June.
That's amazing.
It is. It's unbelievable. So week two, we're 74,000. Week three, Loren, to date, and I'm not going to give away the full enchilada, but I can tell you that our week three, so next week, what we're going to post next week, today's Monday, right, Loren?
Yes, it is.
So it's Monday, and we've already beaten last week's 74,000, and it's Monday.
Amazing.
So it's unbelievable. So
yeah, we're a whole week to go. That just goes to show, all of you out there watching this, your support. It's all adding up. Whatever you can afford is adding up, and we are beating the competition like nothing you've ever seen. And that's why the attacks are coming.
Absolutely.
They don't beat up on the person in last place or in the middle of the pack. They start beating up on the front runner because that they see that that's the only way that they can try to take the lead.
Well, and also it doesn't help that you're not part of the club. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah. I tell everybody everywhere I go, I'm not the establishment candidate. I'm not the party pick. I'm not the media pick. I was asked by citizens way back in the first part of 2019 on into the summer. In 2018, I stood up for citizens' rights when I had nothing to gain and my career to lose, and stood up for citizens' constitutional rights. And, when you do the right thing, there's nothing better. You just do it because it's the right thing to do. Nobody's watching. You're just doing the right thing. And that's what I did. It ended up putting me on the national news. Ended up writing a book about it, traveling around the state talking to people. And people started asking me to run for governor because we need to get our government back within the confines of the Constitution, back within the rule of law, and get it working for the citizens again instead of special interests.
We've said from the beginning, and this is something I told you, a year ago when we were talking about this run, one of the aspects, one of the strategies to the campaign is building an online community. And, social media doesn't win elections. You know what I mean? It just doesn't. but not having a large following, not building that community, ignoring that community, will lose you an election.
Well,
And
right. You have no way of getting your information out. There's,
exactly.
yeah, you could go on TV for a couple minutes, but, if you can't get your message out to the people and have them share the message, it makes it pretty darn hard.
So let's go over some numbers here. This is just unbelievable. So in the political space, we're measuring ourselves against other players that are on the same field. So the Washington State Democrat Party, their community is about 41,700 strong. 41,700 strong. Loren Culp for governor, the campaign, 41,100 strong. So we're only 600 behind the state Democratic Party, the party that has ruled Washington State for the last 35 years. Our community is roughly the same size. What say you, Mr. Culp?
Well, that just goes to show that people are sick and tired of the political class and want change for the better, for the citizens.
Absolutely. So Washington State Republican Party, so we're 41,100 in size. Washington State Republican Party, 31,100. So they're about 10,000 behind us. We haven't even mentioned a candidate yet, Loren.
Right. Yeah.
So,
and it's funny, we're about equal with what the Democrat Party has as an online presence.
right.
And the funny thing is, I'm doing rallies all over the state, hundreds of people, up to over 1,000 people coming to my
Yep.
rallies. And people are standing in line, for the meet and greet afterwards. And I'm having so many people that come up to me and tell me that they have always voted Democrat, that they're not anymore. And that's amazing.
Right.
That is amazing.
That's unbelievable. People are walking away and they're walking into the camp of constitutionalism, freedom, and liberty. So Washington State Republican Party, 31,100. Tim Eyman for governor, 9,800. So we're 41,100. Tim's the next closest to us, 9,800. When we started this campaign, Loren, something we got told a lot is that, with Tim, he's got name ID. There's no way you're going to be able to beat a guy with name ID. Name ID, name ID, name ID. Name ID helps with fundraising. Name ID helps with a lot of different things. Well, name ID hasn't really helped him with fundraising because we're beating him 2-1. Name ID hasn't helped him with building an online community and getting his information out. Name ID hasn't helped him get signs out across the state. Name ID hasn't really helped him with anything other than get his name in the media, which is where he likes it, which is fine. That's his thing.
And ever since day one, I didn't really care who else jumped in to this race.
Sure.
I jumped in July, so been campaigning for a year. July of 2019 is when I made the decision with Barb to run, and I knew it was the right thing to do. I knew a lot of citizens asked me to do it, and it doesn't bother me who jumped in. Didn't concern me one bit. I've got one focus, and that's making it through the primary and then beating Jay Inslee in the general. And I've had that focus ever since. There were rumors that other people might have jumped in. People that have been in office, well-known people, and one or two of the other campaigns kind of freaked out and contacted me, but I didn't care. I had one mission, and that was to bring this state back to we the people. And we're in the condition that we're in because of people that have been involved in the political process for years. That we've had professional politicians running and professional politicians in office, and look where we are. So I think the citizens are ready for somebody with some military background. I'm a veteran, served 4 years in the military. I ran my own business for over 20 years in the Olympia area when I lived on the west side. And then, at 49 years old, I realized my childhood dream, became a police officer and a narcotics detective. So I've got I guess a little bit different view on things than the politicians do, you know. And we're gonna get these things fixed from a common sense point of view, not a political point of view. You know, we're gonna keep the Constitution in the forefront, the rule of law, and won't it be nice when we get our government working within the framework of the Constitution? You know, I think that a lot of the reason that what I say resonates with Democrats as well as conservatives is because I explained the rule of law. You know, we are a constitutional republic that was founded on the rule of law. And when the law, the Constitution, is implemented and followed by the government, then everyone's rights are protected equally. Everyone. Doesn't matter your sex, doesn't matter your political ideology. It doesn't matter how much money you make or what you do for a living, what color your skin is. It does not matter. Everyone is protected equally under the law when it is applied. And for so long, we've seen politicians not follow the Constitution, not follow the rule of law, you know, and we get to this point in our state's history right now where we have a person who wants to act like a dictator. And that's the road you go down. You know, you have people making decisions based on what they think and what they want to happen instead of following the Constitution and the rule of law and making sure that government is limited to that. So I think that's what's getting across to a lot of people, even Democrats and a lot of independents as well.
You know, before I tell people how far behind Josh Freed and Phil Fortunato are, can you share with the folks that story when we were down in Puyallup? We were doing a small little meet and greet in a restaurant, and there was that young lady that was outside that was a Democrat that listened to you. Do you remember? Do you know the story I'm talking about?
There's so many.
And she came in. Well, she came in and she said that, you know, my girlfriend and I were standing outside and I was listening to what you had to say. Can you tell? Okay. That's a great example. That's a great example of what you're talking about.
Yeah, we were in a meet and greet by an airport there in Puyallup, and I gave my presentation to the people inside that were having lunch, and the door was open to the patio, and there was some people that were just sitting out there, had ordered food from the restaurant, and I gave my speech, and apparently they heard me out there. And when I was done, I was going around to the tables, thanking everybody for coming and talking to them, answering questions. And this young lady came up to me and she asked me what I'm going to do for the LGBTQ community. And I said, well, I'm going to do the same thing for the LGBTQ community as I'm going to do for every other citizen in the state of Washington, and apply the rule of law, the Constitution, equally across the board, and it's going to be enforced, and that protects everyone equally. It doesn't matter what your sex is or your preference or your skin color or how much money you make. None of that matters. Everyone is protected equally. And she said, wow, I had never heard that before. She goes, but I was kind of listening to the other things you said, and you have mine and my girlfriend's vote. And I'm
guessing she's not a conservative Republican voter.
I would say not. No,
right.
I didn't talk to her very long. But that's the thing about it. You know, we're not taught about the Constitution in school. We're not taught about the rule of law. You know, the Constitution says that it is the supreme law of the land, right? That's the rule book for the government. So getting it back within those boundaries, you know, I usually talk about Jay Inslee, the way he's acting as our governor right now. If you're watching a football game, right, and the referee throws the flag and blows the whistle on every play and changes the rules, eventually the players aren't going to want to play, and the people watching aren't going to want to watch it anymore because it's a mess. Nobody knows what's going to happen on the next play, and that's what's happening with Jay Inslee. Every time he opens his mouth, there's a different rule. There's something else that's changing. And it's because he doesn't understand that his job is to run the executive branch of the state government, right? He's the governor of the state of Washington. And his job is to oversee the state government, not oversee every aspect of our lives and our businesses and our families, but he doesn't understand or doesn't care about the rule of law and the Constitution. So he's acting all out of bounds, you know, and making decisions based on how he feels or what he thinks. It's not based on the law. which is a constitution. And I tell everybody all the time, when our founders of Washington State decided, let's make a state, let's write up the rule book for it, let's write a constitution, the first thing they wrote was Article 1, Section 1, which says that the power is inherent in the people and that government is there to protect citizens' rights. That's the first thing they thought of. It's pretty amazing, right? I mean, the first thing they wrote was the power is inherent in the people and government is there to protect citizens' rights. Does Jay Inslee act like that? No, he acts like the power is inherent in the governor and government's there to trample on citizens' rights. And then I also asked, I've asked this several times, we're doing 2 to 4 rallies a day. Every day we've been on the road for at least 2 weeks. Yeah. And I ask everyone at the rallies, can anyone tell me what Article 1, Section 7 of the Constitution says? I haven't had anyone raise their hand and say yes yet. And I always thank the public school system for failing to teach us about our rights and responsibilities in the Constitution, right? It's pretty important because that's the rule book for our government. If we don't know what our rights are, we won't know when they're taken away, right? Exactly. But Article 1, Section 7 says that no citizen shall be disturbed in their private affairs. And we've definitely been disturbed in our private affairs. So it's very important to me that we learn what our rights are, what our responsibilities are, and what the limitations are on our government. And then as governor, make sure that I make decisions that are based on that. I have 3 rules that I tell everybody as well. When any bill comes across my desk as governor and the legislature wants it signed into law, and number 1, is it constitutional? Because like I've just been explaining, that's the rule book for the government. If it's outside the bounds of the Constitution, I'll veto it. Number 2, will it help the citizens of Washington State? Not special interest groups, not friends of the governor, but the citizens of Washington State. Because the government works for us. We do not work for the government. So if it's not going to help the citizens of Washington State, then I'll veto it. And number 3, can we do it without any new taxes? Taxes are a huge burden on us. Small businesses, families, big businesses as well. But we don't need more taxes. We need less taxes, and we need to rein in our state government, get it working back within the confines of the Constitution, and that will lower how much money it is sucking out of our pockets all the time. Right now, we're spending about $1 billion a week to fund our state government, and the roads are still garbage. Services from the government aren't any better than they were 10 years ago when it was half that amount.
There are in every election, Loren, there's little pivot points, and a lot of them, and sometimes they're not apparent, at least at the time. They become apparent later. And we were at a debate because rumor is that you don't show up to a debate, but
I know. I get attacked on that. I see it online all the time. It's like, what are you talking about?
I think you've missed like 3.
Yeah, and honestly, there's been, 40? It seems like all the time. Yeah, but whenever anybody else doesn't show up, nobody says anything. So
because nobody else matters.
I wear that as a badge of honor.
Absolutely.
You attack the front runner. You attack the guy that's going to do good. Look at what they did to Brett Kavanaugh, for crying out loud.
Unbelievable.
Yeah. So bring on the attacks. I just wear it as a badge of honor, and it makes me smile.
So there was a pivot point there. It was apparent to me at the time because I was present, and I think it was missed by a lot of people. But you asked,
probably on purpose.
Yeah. So you were asked, or you were given the opportunity to ask your opponents a question, and you asked them, "What does Article 1, Section 1 of the Washington State Constitution say?"
Yeah, and actually, I asked what was Article 1, Section 7 say.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yes.
And how would you implement it as governor? Yeah.
Yeah, and the candidate to your right, Mr. Freed, got angry with you, and
yeah, I don't know why
because he didn't know what it was.
The other candidates, they admitted that they didn't know, but they would find out and they would, uphold the Constitution. But yeah,
none of them knew though.
No, they did not know, and
none of them knew.
Whoever's going to take office as governor is going to take an oath of office to uphold and defend the Constitution of the state of Washington, as well as the U.S. Constitution. So it's important that candidates know what it is, and I don't have the whole Constitution memorized. I thought that it was a pretty well-known Article 1, Section 7. Citizens shall not be disturbed in their private affairs. It seems, I mean, it was obvious to me. I've known that for years, but
you will never.
Mr. Freed got a little bit mad at me,
and you will never guess who now all of a sudden is all about the Constitution on the campaign trail.
Oh yeah, I don't know.
It's funny. So when homelessness, homelessness, we're going to build homes, and then here comes Loren Culp. Well, no, we don't need to build homes because homelessness is the symptom. It's not the cause. The cause is drugs and alcoholism,
and mental health.
And mental health by a long shot. Now, sure, there are some families that are genuinely in need.
Oh yeah, we've been helping those. We've been helping people like that in this state forever. That's what welfare's are for. That's what food stamps and housing assistance is for.
Absolutely.
But when you start overloading the system and blaming it on homes, then you're kind of missing the mark.
And then magically, when the build homes doesn't gain traction, we have to. Well, you know what? We better get on that mental health. We better get on that drug thing. And so you see this, it's on a lot of different subjects. The Second Amendment. Well, the Second Amendment, we're going to go ahead and make a commission. We're going to make a commission to, look at all gun bills. Really, the Second Amendment, you've said since the beginning that the Second Amendment doesn't have anything to do with the commission. Am I correct?
And Article 1, Section 24 of the Washington State Constitution is even more explicit than the Second Amendment. It says the right of the individual citizen to bear arms in defense of himself or the state shall not be impaired. So, I don't know what we need a commission for, but apparently one of my competitors does. So,
maybe that's why he only has 9,500 people in his online community. And he started out real strong and then all of a sudden faded late. Now he's panicked, and he was just out in Leavenworth tonight, drew a capacity crowd of 20. We have more people that run our swag tables than some of our competitors have coming to their events, and this is just a symptom. Of
I'm just gonna let you roll. Go.
I'm on it, man. I tell you what, people have been leaning on me all day, so I'm just gonna take it while I got it.
Let it out, Chris.
This is just a symptom of where some of our competitors are. They're getting beat badly. They have to drop $750,000 into their own campaigns to float it because they can't raise money from the field. And, this is what they do. They get nasty and they start throwing things out there that are untrue. And the numbers bear it out. And Loren, it's not just the social media numbers, because that's just one angle. Let's look at rally size. What we have anywhere, like if we have 400 people to rally, it's a good rally, but it's a smaller one. Mm-hmm. We're 6, 8, 1,000 people now. It's that the eyeball test and just the ability to bring these rallies are great. Those of you at home, if you haven't been to a rally, go to one when we're near you guys. You're going to have a great time. There's live music, there's food, there's other patriots, like-minded people like you. You guys get to hang out together and meet new people. It's fantastic.
They're absolutely a blast.
They are. They're a lot of fun to do.
I love those things. Yeah.
It's great.
So many people.
And you get to meet new people. I've met so many great people at these rallies, and it's just nice to get out across the state and really realize, and I think it really crystallizes in the minds of our supporters that, we can really do this. Like, look around, like there's a lot of us. And I think the realization in the minds of folks is that, hey, you know what? They've been telling us that there's only a few conservatives in this state, but there's 1,000 of us at this rally.
We had a rally in King County. I think it was a week ago. Had a rally in King County, and the venue was packed. It was standing room only.
Yep.
And I remember we got done, and you came up to me, and it was a great rally. A lot of people, standing room only. I'm just like, yes, that was really good. And I remember you coming up to me and saying, "Hey, Loren, there's over 100 people that couldn't get in here, and they've been standing out in the rain the whole time you've been speaking."
Yeah.
And we grabbed the speaker and a portable speaker and a microphone. We went outside and had another rally right outside on the lawn with over 100 more people. And I think half the people from inside, or maybe more, came out and went through it again. I mean, that's exciting. I was told from the very get-go, you're not going to get support from King County.
Yep.
King County rules this state, and it's all red, or it's all liberals, which is absolutely not true.
Right.
I mean, that support, and that wasn't the first rally that we've had in King County.
Right.
The turnout to the first one was excellent.
Oh, it was unbelievable. It was out in the middle of a field. When we were driving out there, I told my wife, I was like, man, I was nervous. I was nervous. We were going out to this field. I was like, I think we're lost. Like, I hope some children from the corn don't come out of the field and like murder us on this highway. It was crazy. So we get out to this place, and we arrived just a little bit late. We weren't early. We were a little bit late. And there were already cars like everywhere. I was like, oh my God.
I know, when we come rolling in there and there's cars waiting on the road both directions to pull in.
Right.
That's when it's like, oh my gosh. But yeah, it's not a campaign anymore. It's turned into a movement. And it's because of everybody watching this, everybody sharing this. It's because of the supporters, like I tell myself, and my wife tells me all the time, you're nobody special. And I'm not. I'm not. It's the message. It's
super encouraging.
No, but really, I am not. I'm a veteran. I ran my own business. I have served my community as a police officer, and I'm one of the people. That's all I can say. I mean, when I ran my construction business, I had rubber boots on and gloves. I was pouring concrete with my crew. I was pounding nails. There's a lot of people that run construction businesses, and they're the money person. They manage other people actually doing the work. But I learned from the ground up. I know how to build a house. I know how to pour a foundation because I did it. I worked right alongside my crews.
Right.
So I'm just a regular guy, but the message is what's resonating with everybody from across the aisle, and that's what's fantastic. The people are sick and tired of politicians.
Yes, they are.
Get our government back and get them off our backs and out of our pocket and let us live our lives. That's what it's all about. Just leave me alone. Take a little bit of taxes, but fix the freaking roads.
Right.
Teach our kids and grandkids how to read and write and do arithmetic, and get the trades back into high school so that kids that don't want to go to college can go right out and get a good paying job, because the trades are screaming for people right now. We need those trades back in high school.
Yes, we do.
I talk about fixing the salmon issue. I talk about the catastrophic wildfires. There's a fly in here. And I talk about the issues that are important to everyday real Americans, real Washington citizens. And I'm not real good at making a word salad, and throwing it out there. I just speak my mind and don't sound like a used car salesman. Because I personally, and I know that a lot of people that I know, we don't really like politicians. They're slick talkers, and you ask them a question and they do what they do. They make a word salad. And they just talk around what you're saying, and pretty quick you're like, I don't remember what I asked this guy. And then you're shaking their hand and they're walking away. It's like, what did he just say?
Yeah, the only politician, sitting legislator in the race, last competitor, is Phil Fortunato. He's in the rear with the gear. 2,100 people in his online community. He's not raising any money. Funny thing, for a note for the folks at home, that a candidate that Mr. Culp referred to just a moment ago, who called him wanting to get him out of the race early, was Phil Fortunato. Called him, I think it was in September, October, and said, hey, Loren, you don't have a shot. Why don't you go ahead and get out and support me? Well, I guess that showed him. Then in March, he had one of the guys on his campaign call me and try to convince Loren to get out of the race, run for land commissioner. And I told him in no uncertain terms, Loren Culp is in it to win it. And you'll see us in August. I mean, you know, these people, when they can't do it, they try to push you out, and people have been trying to push you out or step on you or ignore you or criticize you or do all these different things because of fear. They know they can't beat you one-on-one. They know that they're, you know, they're supposed to be the guy, Loren. They're all claim, oh, I can beat Inslee. Oh, I can beat Inslee. Well, if they can't beat you, then they sure as hell can't beat Jay Inslee.
They can't beat we the people. That's what
the big
they can't beat. They cannot beat we the people. And that's who I am, and that's who I'm going to support, and that's who I'm going to be the governor of, is we the people, the hard-working, playing hard Americans that live in the state, in the cities, and in the country.
Absolutely. All right, moving on. So we're killing it. I guess long and the short of it in that segment is we're killing it by every measure: money, online community, rally sizes. We're coming apart on 12,000 signs up across the state. 12,000, unbelievable.
And the more donations we get, the more we can advertise. You know, the more we can do TV ads. And I don't know if anybody's been along I-5 through Tacoma and King County area, but I went through Tacoma. When was that? Yesterday?
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, saw the new billboard up, electronic billboard, right close to the Tacoma Dome, actually. And then there's a couple more in King County along I-5, Culp Governor billboards. And that's what people's donations allow us to do. Those things are not cheap. You know,
Yep.
TV and radio, that's not cheap. So
Yep.
all the donations are just helping us get the word out more. So
Absolutely.
it's absolutely fantastic. And it's because of everybody that, like the people that are watching us right now.
We've got some fantastic events coming up. This week, we're going to be in Wenatchee. I think that's Wenatchee tomorrow night?
Wenatchee tomorrow night. I
Yep.
believe we're going to be in Ellisburg tomorrow during the day, right?
I think so.
I don't have the schedule up in front of me. But
It is on it's on the website, www.culpforgovernor.com. Click the events tab. All of our events are listed there. So I know we got Ellensburg, we've got Wenatchee this week, we've got Spokane, 2 rallies. I saw a question come in earlier, Loren. There was some confusion. We're going to be in Spokane and Spokane Valley.
Two events
back to back, Friday, Saturday. It's going to be fantastic. You know, Loren, we had some goon create a Antifa page yesterday. It's a fake Antifa page.
There's like 3 people that have liked that page. I saw somebody.
Yeah, it's like 3. Yeah, I was like, yeah. And so what they're doing is they're sharing it out. They're sharing it out. This one individual is sharing it out and, you know, trying to make this big hoopla. I've gotten more messages about this. Hey, did you see this? Did you see this? Did you see this? I got my guys back east to look into it. It's a big nothing burger. A lot of rumors.
And people that do this, the people that do this, they're amateurs. They don't realize, even though they make a fake name and make a fake page.
Right.
That
I know where you live.
They
I got your IP
still
address.
know who they are. It's just hilarious. Keep on doing it because it's great. It's good fun. It's hilarious.
They're not going to intimidate
us. Scare people from coming to my rallies because they can't stop us any other way.
That's right. So come to our rally.
This way is not going to work either. It's actually it's pathetic.
It is
that they're trying to do this, but at the same time, it's kind of comical too.
It is, and it doesn't matter. Bring the real Antifa. We don't care. We're having our rally. The Patriots are coming. We have been quiet for too many years, and we're coming. And that's just the way it is. We're going to hold our rallies. There's going to be 1,000 people. It's going to be 500 people. It's going to be 750. It's going to be, I mean, hell, even 100. I don't even care. But we're doing the rally. Yeah. And we're bringing people together. We're talking about the Constitution and truth and why Loren Culp is going to be the next governor of Washington State.
And why we, the people, are going to return individual freedom and liberty to this state. I can't wait until we have, after the inauguration, maybe we'll wait until wintertime's over. We're going to have one heck of a barbecue in the backyard of the governor's mansion.
Yeah, we can't do it. We can't do it. We can't do it in the wintertime. You know how I am about the cold.
Yeah, it rains a lot in Olympia too in the wintertime.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, and it's always ready to snow.
Right.
It's always ready to snow. 40 degrees
I remember you
doesn't
telling
matter.
me a couple times it was like 50 degrees. You said it feels like it's going to snow. It's like, no, you need to come to Republic when it's 20 below and then tell me that.
So we got Tri-Cities coming up, Loren. We're going to be down there.
And yes, and I want to let everybody know, right close to home, we're going to be over in Colville and Chewelah as well, coming up real soon. Check the events tab.
Yakima. We're coming out there. My wife's going to come out as well. We've got a Latinos for Culp event going on in Yakima next weekend. It's going to be fantastic. It's just going to be a blast, Loren. I mean, we've got so much going on. We've got such a full schedule. There's no time to rest. We've got, 22 more days until primary, and then we've got 90 more days to the date after that. So we've got 112 days until you're elected governor. And we don't have time to sit around and, and ponder the mysteries of the universe. We've got things that we've got to do.
Yep. Got one mission and one mission only. And we're fighting till the last day.
Absolutely. So then we come back after we work the east side, talk to all the wonderful people out on the east side. Then we're going to go ahead and head back out on the west side, get some more rallies and events going out there. June 25th, ladies and gentlemen, we are having a Culp country concert. We've got country music stars and artists that are going to come out. This is not our house band. We love our house band. Our house band.
They are awesome. Fantastic.
Yeah, they're great.
I love that classic rock.
Yep, they're awesome. But this isn't that. This is an actual country concert. Check out all the information on the Facebook page, also on our website, culpforgovernor.com. Click the events tab. Tickets are available on Eventbrite. It's $50 to get into the event. And if you want one of the custom shirts for the event, the ticket there is $75. And I did a little bit of customization to your picture, Loren. Did you see it?
Yes, I did see that. So the hashtag insubordinate shirt picture. I see that you put a cowboy hat on there.
So
and that's not far from the truth. When I was going to high school, all through grade school, I lived on a farm. We had horses. Yeah. We had burro. And then when I was going to high school over here, I had a horse that I could actually shoot a gun off of, believe it or not.
Oh, wow.
And we worked with our neighbors at the Kate Avenue K Ranch, the Cons family, and rounded up cattle. They're a big cattle ranch and timber. And we rounded up cattle, herded them right down Highway 21 when I was a kid on horseback, and branded the calves. And so that's not too far from the truth, but I don't wear the cowboy hat too much anymore. I don't want to lose any more of my hair.
You see what happened to me. That's why I have to wear the hat. I just got tired of being the only guy around here wearing a cowboy hat. So I had our guys back home. I was like, hey, you know what? You need to put a cowboy hat on this guy, and we're going to put it out there. So we had a little bit of fun with that. So
but we're gonna kind of have to cut it short tonight for two reasons. My phone just let me know that I'm low on battery, and I have a Zoom meeting to do. Yeah. We're gonna have to wrap it up a little short.
Wednesday night, though, another VMG. We're going to be taking questions from the crowd and addressing, rumors, innuendos, and all those things, answering policy questions, things like that for the folks at home. So, any last words for the folks at watching tonight, Loren?
Yeah, forget about the rumors, forget about the lies.
No garbage.
They're in full attack mode. They're going to be up until election day. So just expect it. I wear it as a badge of honor. Remember Brett Kavanaugh, and let them attack. That's all they got left.
That's it.
Thank you all very much for the support. We are going to take this state back. We're going to bring back individual freedom and liberty and constitutional government and free our small businesses and families. So keep sharing, keep doing what you guys do. You're absolutely insubordinate, and I love it.
Keep up the good fight. I'm Christopher Gergen on behalf of Loren Culp and the whole Culp family and the Culp campaign. Thank you all for watching. We will see you on Wednesday night, 6:30. See you soon.
Good night, everybody.